Have you ever opened a door that was never meant to be found? We did. And what we discovered behind it changed how we saw everything: our home, our family, and even ourselves. My name's Daniel. I'm 37, father of 2, husband, software analyst. We recently moved from a cramped 2-bedroom apartment into a creaky, character-filled 3-story colonial out in upstate New York. It wasn't just a house. It was the house, big front porch, ivy crawling up the sides, old hardwood floors, a massive stone fireplace. The kind of place you imagine snowed in during the holidays, with hot cocoa and a crackling fire. It was also a great deal. Too great. We chalked it up to the owners being desperate to sell. The realtor said they'd inherited it and wanted it off their hands fast. "You're getting a steal," she smiled. "Old houses like this come with stories." We didn't realize she meant that literally. The move-in process was chaos, as all move-ins are. Boxes everywhere. Kids fighting over bedrooms. My wife, Lily, yelling down the stairs about missing screws for the crib. It was my 10-year-old son, Ben, who first mentioned something odd. "There's one less window on the inside," he said casually while brushing his teeth the second night. "What?" I counted. "There's one more window on the outside of the house than there is from the inside." I laughed. Probably an attic vent or something. But the next day he pointed to the side of the house. "See? 1, 2, 3 windows on this wall. But inside, there's only 2 rooms." I looked again. He was right. Curiosity turned into a hunt. That weekend, we measured the rooms. The dimensions didn't line up. One wall was too thick. Hollow, in some spots. That Sunday, Lily pulled out an old blueprint the realtor had sent digitally during escrow. It was from 1947. There, tucked between what was now the upstairs office and the linen closet, was a small square, labeled simply, Room 3B. It didn't appear on any of the more recent floor plans. "What the hell is Room 3B?" Lily asked. None of us had an answer, so we decided to find out. We tapped along the walls with a rubber mallet, hollow, then solid, then hollow again. Ben was the one who found the seam, behind the bookshelf in the upstairs hallway. A vertical groove in the plaster. Lily and I looked at each other. She whispered, "This feels like a movie." It took us an hour to move the bookshelf and peel off the wall's trim. Underneath was a narrow door, nailed shut. No knob, just a rusted keyhole. We pried the nails out with a crowbar. The wood groaned as it came loose. And behind it, a tiny staircase, descending into pitch black. Not the attic. Not a crawl space. Another room. We grabbed flashlights and went in. The air was dense, unmoved for decades. Ben and my daughter Emily stayed upstairs, though Emily insisted on watching from the threshold. The room was maybe 10 by 10. Walls covered in faded green wallpaper, now moldy in the corners. A twin bed, dusty and collapsed. A broken rocking chair. But what caught our eyes was what was nailed to the far wall. A series of sketches. Dozens. Charcoal. Faint. Some water-damaged. All of them. Unsettling. Children. Crying. Alone. Some covering their faces. One showed a figure with eyes scratched out holding a child upside down. Lily shivered. Jesus. We looked closer. Each drawing had initials. CE followed by a date. The oldest was from 1963. The newest? 1997. We left the room in silence. That night, I did a record search on the address. Turns out, our house was part of a home for orphaned or difficult children during the 1960s through the early 2000s. Not officially, but privately run by a woman named Catherine Ellsworth, a teacher, supposedly, never married, took in lost kids. The neighbors called her Saint Cat, but there were rumors, abuse, children going missing, but no one ever proved anything. The home was quietly shut down in 2002 after she died in a house fire in this house. The fire was confined to the basement. The children were all gone by then. That's when the property passed to distant relatives. No one wanted it. We kept that from the kids, but the drawings stayed with us. I stored them in the garage, wrapped in plastic. I shouldn't have. That same week, Emily started sleepwalking. I'd find her standing at the top of the stairs, eyes closed, mumbling numbers. Ben started drawing faces, crying ones. When asked, he said, "I saw them in my dream, the sad kids from the secret room." He'd never seen the sketches. Then one morning, I woke up to find the bookshelf in the hallway moved. No one admitted to doing it. The door was open. Lily and I agreed. It had to be sealed. I hired a contractor to close it off permanently, but when he came, he refused to go in. Said the room felt wrong. Said he'd had nightmares for 2 nights after visiting the house to measure. He walked off the job. I sealed the room myself. Plaster. Screws. Painted over. Gone. Or so we thought. 2 weeks later, Lily found Emily sitting on the hallway floor drawing on the wall. In chalk. 3 figures. 1 tall. 2 small. She said, "That's me and Ben." And the woman. What woman? The one who reads to us at night. I felt cold all over. "She comes from the secret room," she added. The next night, Lily heard whispering on the baby monitor, but it wasn't coming from either child. It was static. Then a woman's voice. "Good girls sleep with secrets." I couldn't ignore it anymore. We brought in a local historian who specialized in post-war institutions. He listened, took notes, then showed us something that made my stomach turn. A photograph. Catherine Ellsworth. Standing with 2 children. Same hallway as ours. Same wallpaper. Same bookshelf. She was smiling. But the kids weren't. One of them was holding a doll that looked exactly like the one Emily now slept with. We didn't buy it. It came with the house. Or so we thought. We almost moved out. But before we could list the house, the final piece fell into place. Ben came to me one night and said, "I don't want to be bad." I asked what he meant. He said, "The room says I'm bad. It says if I don't behave, I'll go in the walls like the others." We packed that night. But before we left, I took one last look at the wall. Just curiosity. There, drawn in faint pencil, were initials. CE. And below it, I kept the bad ones, but the good ones stayed too long. We still own the house. It sits empty now. The drawings are in storage. We had the room torn out, down to the studs. Rebuilt, but the hallway still feels cold. And sometimes, on rainy nights, our Nest Cam pings an alert. Motion detected upstairs hallway. When we check the footage, we see a faint figure walking past the bookshelf. And we wonder, did we really find the room, or did it find us? What would you do if you found a room that wasn't supposed to exist and your children started remembering things they shouldn't? Comment below.